Hello, friends. Hope everyone is doing fine. Today, we will discuss about a topic on mundane astrology. This topic is actually regards to like how you can find out the problem, the calamities, or the factors which are going to affect a nation over the course of 1 year. How to find it? That is, we are trying to understand through eclipse, lunar and solar eclipse, and through the Indian mundane astrology or the Modini Jyotish way of analyzing a year problem. Before going into the sutrams, how to see a chart, how to cast a chart, how to identify the problem where the problems will come. And I have noticed few things, in the coming 1 2 months, which I want to share with my viewers. Whoever sees this video, he will understand why this thing I'm predicting, or which is the indication which is coming in the chart. We need to know one thing, that in a year, whichever countries which faces lunar or solar eclipse, those are the countries wherever it happens, whichever countries have get to see the lunar or the solar eclipse, those are the countries where the problems can come. That is the first sutrams you need to identify. So solar eclipse and lunar eclipse, whichever country will have that. Not every country will see a lunar eclipse. Not every country will see a solar eclipse. For example, every year there are four eclipses, one solar and one lunar, like 15 days apart, Purnima and Amavasya. So basically, in India, the first, the first solar eclipse for this year was on 20 or 24th of April. I don't exactly remember the date, but in India, the particular, I think 21st. The India, the particular, but I'm sorry, you can check Google. In India, the lunar eclipse was visible on 5th of May, majorly in the eastern part, and the second lunar eclipse was visible in India on 28th of October. Okay, so that means in India also the problem will come. So that is one thing. Okay, now understanding, you know what is the problem, what is the overall energy of the entire year. So for that, there are few processes which are mentioned by sage Vaharamira in his book Prihat Samhita, and by Narad Puran also. You will get to know about the Vikram Sambat. Actually, you know many old treaties has got all these details of the Sambat, Vikram Sambat. What is Vikram Sambat? You see, on 21st of March, around 21st of March, 22nd of March, when Sun and Moon they meet in the Pisces, the Pratipada, after the new moon, the next day, which is in Hindu astrology, it is the first Tithi. That particular day is actually called Pratipada, and which fall in the month of Choitro. In Bengali, the month of Choitro, usually in the English, 21st of 22nd of March, like that. So the very moment when sun crosses moon, the Amavasya just ended, and the moment it enters the next tithi, the 1 minute or the even the milliseconds, just crossing the moon longitudinal degree. This When this thing happens, when moon crosses, sorry, sun. That moment, a chart is cast. That chart is known as Vikram Sambat. Now, what is Vikram Sambat? This particular chart will give an indication about the entire year, the entire energy of the year, the entire ethos of the year. What is the entire year will be like focusing on, whether it will be a happy year overall worldwide, or it will be some problematic year. Those are the things which are being identified, and from Vikram Sambat you can calculate the rains. You can do mundane astrology, many things, earthquakes, and natural disasters, finance, rise and fall of commodity pricing. Everything you can do through mundane astrology. So one of the finest topic, the most less research topic in India, and I encourage everyone to like you know try to study mundane astrology. It is very rewarding actually. So you see the Vikram Sambat chart. The first thing is the day when it falls, the day when this thing happened, like when this 21st of March, or when the moment when the first Tithi start, just you cross the new moon, and the first the Tithi start, that particular day, the king, the Lord which represent that day becomes the representative of Vikram Sambat, or the king of the year. He's known as the king of the Raja. is known as the king of the year. On 21st March, you can see it fall on Tuesday. So the king of the year was Mars. See the Lagna Kundali. In the Lagna Kundali, Scorpio is a Lagna, which on anyway, is not a very positive sign in terms of the espionage or the wars and ammunition and those kind of things. And the Lagna Lord Mars has come to the eighth house, which is a very big indication that this year is going to be related to the king of the year energy, which is Mars energy. So Mars represent, and that too Mars has come to the eighth house. So suggesting the longevity house. So this suggests that Mars is the karaka of disputes, war, weapons, arguments, blood, calamities, and those kind of things. So this year will be full of Mars maritime energies. And we know that the moment when Mars enters, Libra and met Ketu, the very day this Israel-Palestine war has also started. Already the Ukraine and the Russia war was going on. There are international disputes all around, problems, and international things are coming up. And overall, there is a war, which is which is giving an indication. The energy of the entire world is now, that's the dominating energy which is going on. So Vikram Sambat has rightly given that indication that it will be Mars who will be controlling that year. However, it doesn't mean that war will happen every time. But this particular chart has got a very specific indication, which is very unique to this chart, which makes this chart very unique. If you go to Hiroshima Nagasaki atom bomb event, if you go to India Pakistan war, if you go to World War II, World War One, in those year also, if you do the Vikram Sambat, you will find that there is a connection of Mars, Saturn, Ketu, or Rahu. Every this type of problematic year, whenever there is a war, big war, world war, or bomb, or major disputes, those are the years when these planets, especially Mars and Saturn, Ketu, Rahu, these have some combination. Either it is Saturn plus Mars, or it's Mars plus Rahu and Saturn, Mars plus Ketu and Saturn. In this particular chart, Ketu, who is connecting Saturn to the fifth aspect, and this particular ninth aspect, and Mars to the fifth aspect. So Ketu is basically, creating a yoga with Mars and Saturn. Saturn, Mars, and Ketu. This particular yoga is known as Bandhana Yoga, or arrest yoga, or weapon yoga, disputes yoga, blood yoga, calamities yoga. So this particular year, this indication is there in this chart, which has rightly given this warlike situation. But our point is not that. Our point is to understand what will happen to India, how we are poised, because this is about the global energy. This is about the global, ethos of the particular year. But how and what will happen to India? How we will be positioned in this particular year? That can be understood through the eclipse. In India, two eclipse was visible. One on 5th of May and the other one on 28th of May. We will try to understand the chart. Whoever are student of Medini Jyotish, please try to focus in this particular thing. You will get understand what I want to relay. So one more chart is important along with the Vikram Sambat chart. That is known as Jagat Kundali chart. You see, Jagat Kundali chart is nothing, but actually it is the whenever the very moment when sun ingress to Aries, the moment it enters Aries Rashi, that particular moment, if you cast a chart, that chart is known as Jagat Kundali chart. Okay. In the Jagat Kundali chart, it usually happen on 14th of April or 15th of April, like that. The moment when sun enters Aries. You see, in this chart also, the Lagna Lord is a fixed Rashi, and the Lagna Lord is King Sun. Okay. He has come to the ninth house and afflicted by Rahu. Okay, because when Sun enters Aries, it is entering the Ashwini Nakshatra. It is just entering the Gandant position. It is weak and it is with Rahu. Rahu can eclipse Sun. The Sun is the mightiest of all the planet. But even after that, the Rahu eclipse the Sun. So it is a enemy to Sun. So it is with enemy. Along with Sun, there is Mercury. Mercury and Mars, there is a parivartana. So Mars is also coming here. So Sun is a fire energy, Mars is a fire energy, and Rahu denotes the air tattva or the air energy. So air tattva. So fire burns more violently when you get air. So it is creating a very big malefic yoga as indication of a very big maleficism in the chart. Now, what is Jagat Kundali? Why it is important? You see, the 12 months of a year, starting from April 14th, is also given like, each house denotes one month. So since it is started with 14th of April, so this is April, this is May, this is June, this is July, this is August, it's September, this is October, and so on. Two things we need from this chart. First of all, we need to analyze this chart, which we have already done. Like, sun is not well placed. Second thing is that, like, two things which are important is, first of all, whichever house there are malefic planets, those are the months when this problem will happen. Here, if we start from April, so you see it is like, Ketu is in the third house. So April, May, June. So it is June. Then it is October, when Saturn it comes. Then it is your December, and then it is I think this is October. This is February. So around February. So majorly this four we are getting to see, like, that these are the 4 months when the major, turnaround or the changes or the problems may crop up. Now, where it will crop up, this chart also denotes, it gives two information. One, the month, and second, related to what the problem will come. So as we can see, the Ketu is in the third house. The third house denotes actually communication, roadways, highways, vehicle, railways, those kind of things. Seventh house in mundane astrology denotes international relationships. International relationships, this foreign travel related matters, international trades, and those kind of etc. etc. The ninth house denotes judiciary, religion, okay, then like higher studies, the universities, then like major reforms, those kind of major reforms which affect the country, major reforms, fanatism, and those kind of things are denoted by ambassadors, like country ambassadors, whoever, like keeping relationship with the other countries. So long distance travel, so ambassadors are also denoted in this particular house. And 11th house is the higher house, like the Rajya Sabha, and the the this kind of like those achievement of a country, those kind of thing it denotes. So basically we are saying we have got two information. First of all, Vikram Sambat has given us some information that Mars is the energy. Now, from this Jagat Kundali, the second most important chart, we have got two information: the months June, October, December, and February, and the house related problems which will come up. Okay. Again, coming back, as I have told you for the first time, like the country wherever the solar eclipse or the lunar eclipse are visible, those are the countries where the problem will come. So you see, in India, two eclipses were visible. I want to show you those two eclipse calculation and how mundane astrology pinpoint the problems. The date was 5th of May. Simply what you need to do is, whichever date, in India, the lunar eclipse has happened, it is equivalent to the sun solar eclipse as well. For lunar eclipse, what you need to do is, you need to calculate the duration of the night. Duration of the night. By this I mean, 5th of May, the sunset was at 6 p.m. and the sunrise was at 5 a.m. So basically, from 5 a.m. to like from 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. is around 11 hours. So 11 hours, you need to divide it into three parts. So 11 hours means 11 into 60. 1 hour is 60 minutes. So 11 hours is 660. So if you divide it by 3, you get 220 minutes. Here it is 220 minutes. So 220 minutes mean 3 hours and 40 minutes. Simple 3 hours and 40 minutes that we are getting. One part of a night is of 3 hours and 40 minutes. In this way, we are dividing the total duration of 11 hours into three parts. of 3 hours and 40 minutes each. That is the first thing what we need to do. That is one. Second is we need to find out, this 3 hours 40 minutes, how when it is ending from the sunset. So as the 5th of May, the sunset was 6 p.m. So if you add 3 hours of 40 minutes, the first part ended at 9:42 p.m. The second part ended at 1:22 a.m. The third part ended at 5:04 a.m. The lunar eclipse on 5th of May in India started at 8:44 p.m. and it was till 1 a.m. So that means from 8:44 to 1 a.m., if you calculate, the duration is 4 hours and 18 minutes. This is the third part which you need to understand. The first part ending at 9:42, second part ending at 1:22 a.m., and the third part when the next day start, which is that sunrise happens, which is at 5:04 a.m. Okay. So basically, out of which, since the first part is ending at 9:44, the lunar eclipse started at 8:44. So within the first part, the lunar eclipse has started and it stretched down to the second part, the entire second, because the entire second part is ending at 1:22, but the lunar eclipse had ended at 1:02 a.m. So almost the second part full, it has utilized. As per the Sutrams, the duration actually is an indication for how many days the effect of lunar eclipse can come to that particular country. You see, the total duration from 8:44 to 1 a.m. is 4 hours and 18 minutes. For a lunar eclipse thing, this hours means months. So 4 hours means 4 months, 3 hours means 3 months, 2 hours means 2 months, 1 hours means 1 month. So 4 hours and 18 minutes. Minute, what you need to do is you need to divide it by 2. You need to divide it by 2. So basically, we are getting 4 hours, 18 minutes. So it is 4 months and 18 minutes divided by 2, 9 days. So 129 days is the total duration of the lunar eclipse, which will be effective in India from 5th of May, which means from 5th of May, if you add 129 days, it is coming to 14th of September. So within 14th of September, something in India could happen. Some issues can come related to the month, which is shown in the Jagat Kundali chart. Now, last calculation you need to do is you remember this very carefully. You see, it's very simple. The lunar eclipse actually, from this first part, you see the first part. So the first part, the lunar eclipse actually started at 8:44 p.m. So sunset was at 6 p.m., 6:02. So if you minus it, 8:44, because it started in the first part itself. So if you minus it, after 2 hours and 42 minutes of the first part, which is of the each part is of 3 hours 40 minutes, and the first part, when 2 hours 42 minutes has crossed, the night has crossed 2 hours 42 minutes, at that moment the lunar eclipse has started. Okay. So simple, 2 hours and 42 minutes means 162 minutes. One part is 220 minutes. So minus 220 minus 162. So it was 58 minutes, which was active in the first part. Same rule, whatever the minute comes, you need to divide it by 2. So 29 days. So which means we have got the duration that from 5th of May till September 14th, the energy of that lunar eclipse will be active. But when it will happen, when it can strike, it will strike on the 29th day onwards. Until how much? At how many? How many days? You see, if the total duration of the this particular eclipse is 129 days, so one part denotes your this particularly your 129 divided by 3, which is 43 days. Okay, 43 days. So 43 days, out of that 73%, as we see, is already covered. Okay, so if you do it, so we are getting approximately around this active days in the first part, which is active, is the 14 days, like that. So basically one part is 43 days. So if you minus 14 days, or simple, you just have the difference divided by 229 days. You need to add to the lunar eclipse date. So 5th of May, the lunar eclipse happened, and 29 day that eclipse actually gets activated. So if we add, it is coming to 3rd of June, and it will be active because I'm adding, because you see the second part is almost covered by the eclipse. So just for the sake of calculation, I have taken 43 days only. So it is active till 16th of July. Actually, it will be not active till 16th of July. It will be active till say 12th or 13th of July, like that. But the date, the active date coming to us is 3rd of June. Now, what happened in India on 3rd of June? You see, 3rd of India. Let us see the India's chart now. We have to go to India's chart. Just a moment. For this, India has got two charts. One is the Independence Day chart and one is the Republic Day chart. For elections, cricket matches, and everything, we can refer the Republic Day chart. But for the other things, like for Vikram Sambat, overall year, rains, and everything, we have to consult this particularly Independence Day chart. The date, the moment when India was born, independent. So that particular chart. India has a Taurus Lagna. So let us go to the 3rd June wala active that portfolio. Why? Because 29 day was active. So if we superimpose, if we superimpose, first of all, you see Mars that particular time was over India's moon and in the 3rd house. We have already got from the Jagat Kundali chart that this 3rd house has got an affliction of Ketu. Now, that very moment, Mars was traveling on Pushya Nakshatra. India's Janma Nakshatra is Pushya only. 3rd house denotes actually railways. So what happened is, that very day, not that day actually, a day before, as per as my calculation, it came on 3rd of June, but actually the event triggered on 2nd of June. The Balasore train accident thing happened. The Balasore train accident happened. 300 people died because 3rd house denotes railways. 300 people died. So that actually triggered when Mars, the Vikram Sambat, the Lord of the Year, when it enters the Rohini Nakshatra of Moon, it was debilitated Mars during that time. When it was trying to the natal Ketu of India, that problem strikes. And Moon actually, on actually the problem has happened not on 3rd of June, but on 2nd of June, one day before. Uh, so because it can be one day here and there, because see, I am taking from Calcutta. If you take it from Delhi, some calculation difference will come. So it will be 2nd or 3rd. So basically on that day, moon was there in the 6th house. Okay, in the 6th house of Rogrin Ripu, and Mars was traveling over this Rohini Nakshatra. As far as my calculation goes, my calculation came on 3rd of June, but the event happened on 2nd of June. This Palaso train accident thing happened. Coming back to the chart, this Jagat Kundali chart, the moment, this particularly, let us go to the Jagat Kundali chart once again, just to show you one thing. It's a new concept, but if you carefully listen to it for two, three times, you will understand. So you see what happened in the month of October, we all know. See, October actually is this one particular Jagat Kundali chart. The indication was 7th house of international communication and everything. The moment this, from September onwards, this thing started, this India Canada, this issues, people, there was Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, putting some very big statement on the Indian, who is involved in the Canada, some Canadian citizen has died. Now, it was a Khalistani militant actually who was there in the Canada, who was given the country residency by Canada government. And he died, and Canada actually blamed it to India, and those kind of issues and everything come. But in the month of October, when particularly this, this Mars entered this Libra, that very moment, this October month, what happened? The Israel war took place. Okay. Now you see, putting the same logic, putting the same logic, if I calculate the 28th October lunar eclipse, which was visible in India, because the first eclipse we have already crossed 14th of September. Okay. Second duration has started from 28th, 29th, actually, midnight. In English date, 29 midnight. Same way if we calculate, same way if we do the calculation, it is coming like the total duration is coming 1 month and 8 days. So from 29th of October till 14th December is the main time when it will be active. So if we like 1 month and 8 days is approximately like 38 days or 39 days. So around 13 days, one part. So if we calculate in the same manner, just the same process, if anyone wants the Excel, this particular Excel, like step by step, it is mentioned here. They can pin me. I will send the Excel. So what it is coming is the lunar eclipse started at this particular at 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. at night, and it was active. The first part, that night, same way the night is divided into three part. The night, and this the first part ended at 9:14. The second part was still at 1:28 a.m. So just in the last moment of the second part, this lunar eclipse started, and it rolled down to the third part. So these are the two parts when the lunar eclipse is active. Now, if the total duration is 1 month and 8 days, which is 39 days, so 39 you divide it by 3, which is 13 days. So you leave the 13 days. The second 13 days and the third 13 days, if you add, it will come approximately, like it will come 39 only if you add 13 plus 13 plus 13. So the first part of is of no utilization because there was no eclipse. In the second part, the lunar eclipse actually started. Okay. And in the third part, it rolled down. Doing by the same calculation, it is coming the 25th day and it will continue till 28th day. If we add it the same way, like what we have done in the previous, chart, from 28th of October, if we add this 25th day, it is coming 22nd of November to 25th of November, when something can happen. Some major issues can happen in India. Why it is so alarming? You see, every month is analyzed by the solar chart of that month in grace. So I have just a moment. So that's a moment. Yeah. So basically, you know, uh, we need to see the chart with the solar, the sun when ingraced this particular Scorpio Rashi, which will happen in the month of October, November, I think 17th or 18th. 17th, I think. Yeah, 17th. You see, that day, sun when enters in that particular, if we put Jagat Kundali chart per se, when sun enters this particular Scorpio Rashi, along with sun, there was Mars. Don't go by the house now. You just go by the month here. The month here. So the month is the calculation as per the Chandragrahan has come. It's given an indication that from 22nd of November to 25th of November, during that period of time, something can happen. Something may not also happen, but something can happen. The solar ingress chart of this particular month shows that Mars and Sun are together. That means Mars will be combusted when it enters, Sun when enters this particular this Rashi. So it is a bad indication actually. Very violent indication. Okay. Coming back to the this Jagat Kundali chart. See, the month which actually came a problematic month was December. But we are seeing from the lunar eclipse chart, it is coming your November 22nd to November 25th. So we have to consider both the months, November and December. But the peak time, as far as the Chandragrahan goes, is 22nd of November to 25th of November. But you also consider December as well, because December is a month which is coming as per the Jagat Kundali chart. But there is an extra month this year. There was a Malmash in this particular year. So there is some, this Indian calendar wise, there is some changes of the month. But you take it as November, December, especially till this 39 day, which will end up like, from 5th of May till the 39 day, it will end up something around like 7th, 8th of December. At least you should consider November and December, just to check, because there can be some, like, this here and there some days difference. But the main part is coming 22nd of November to 25th of November, around that time. So what is the indication? The indication is a ninth house. Ninth house denotes ambassadors. Ninth house denotes religion. Ninth house denotes like, some judicial decisions which are very vitals. Ninth house denotes your higher educations and those kind of things. So relate to that, especially relate to that. Now, why it is dangerous? As you can see, the Rahu Ketu returns. Rahu Ketu are also changing the house. So if you come to the Republic, like, days chart of India, you will see, Rahu will enter Rahu and Ketu will enter Ketu. So there is a partition which is showing here. So there is a polarization which is indicated. And ninth house also denotes religion. So religion or fanatism, those kind of related, where, like, Mars and Rahu is there, some calamities, major calamities is indicated. Those kind of indications may happen. Okay. So if I go back, just a moment. If I go back, just got hang actually. So if I go back, and just take out the eclipse chart, that particular 29th eclipse chart, what we see is, Chandragrahan chart, if I take it out, see what we see is this particular chart has an indication. Here also, like, Mars Ketu together and Saturn in trine, and Saturn aspecting Venus, and Rahu is there with Jupiter and Moon, and the Moon is also in the ninth house. So you see, eclipse has happened in Aries Rashi, and this combination has also got Venus in the top. So, this is ninth house also denote distance traveling. So polarization is just one indication, but here Venus is also there. Venus and Sun, there is a parivartana. Venus and Sun is in the Venus Rashi and Venus is in the Sun Rashi. So there is a exchange of planets. But Venus, Moon, Rahu is also a combination. Since it is in trine, it is also a combination of, like, vehicle, or like even aeroplanes, because ninth house is related to it. So, you know, this is an indication which is clearly coming out that the coming 2 months there can be, going by the mundane astrology, like, the Sutrams, the coming 2 months, especially from 22nd of November to 25th of November, regards to the aeroplane, regards to polarization, regard to some major reforms, regard to the ambassadors, regard to extreme fanatism also, some negative things can happen even in India. That is a possibility which we cannot deny. And you see, the last thing which I want to show you where the problem can happen, how to understand. If you go on the 22nd, this 22nd November, date, Saturn will be in Dhanishta Nakshatra. During 22nd of November 2023, Saturn will be in Dhanishta Nakshatra. What we need to do is, where the problem will lie, this will be told to us by one more tool of mundane astrology, Indian astrology, which is known as Kurma Chakra. What is Kurma Chakra? This is Kurma Chakra. Okay, just a moment. So, this is Kurma Chakra. Just a moment. So, you see, this is a tortoise. Kurma means tortoise. This is a tortoise. The face is always east. Then it has got one, two, three, four. Four legs, one tail. The head denote east, the tail denote west, and the hands are also there. So what it is like, the east, the nakshatras, the 27 nakshatras are also divided in all these, in all these parts. How, like it start like from here, like this, like Revati. This part is east and this part is north. So this is northeast, northeast area. This is north area. This is your southeast area. This is south area. This is southwest area. This is west area. Like that. So in this way, from Revati, it starts from Ashwini actually, but actually it starts you see the 1, 2 nakshatra, then you see that it goes in the 27th. 27, 1, 2 is here. Okay. Then the middle part is basically given the second set of nakshatra, which is 3, 4, 5. Okay. Then 6, 7, 8. In this way, in the series, you need to distribute the entire nakshatras. The Sutram says whichever house, whichever part Saturn is transiting, that part the problem will come. So as we see, on that particular day, Saturn will be in Dhanishta Nakshatra. If we go back to this particular chart, Dhanishta fall in the northwest direction. So northwest is Dhanishta. Now, that this entire nakshatras are also given the areas which are mentioned in Brihad Samhita. Now, this is K. N. Rao sir book. So, just to give you an idea, this Dhanishta falls which all area? Just want to show you. Northwest, majorly. You see, this is northwest. Saturn is transiting over Dhanishta Nakshatra. So, the problem can come in these areas, majorly. So these are the basically the northwest denotes the Punjab, Haryana, okay. Then this Himachal Pradesh, okay. So some part of Rajasthan, okay, northern part of Kashmir, then this uh, your this these kind of places this even Afghanistan. Then if we come back here, then we see this uh, uh, this particularly this is uh, uh, these are the areas which are mentioned in the those days, like the countries were named like that. But majorly you concentrate northwest area is basically the part of the the North Pakistan and those bordering areas, Pakistan, the border areas, Afghanistan, northern part of Kashmir, part of Rajasthan. But it is also like the Punjab, northwest of India. You simply see the chart of India, northwest of India. If you go by the chart of India, you will find that it is like the Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Chandigarh, Haryana, those kind of areas where it fall the northwest. So the indication is, as far as the chart goes, from 22nd till 25th of November, or it will go up till this December. As we have seen, Jagat Kundali chart is also given an indication of December Within this 1 month, especially from 22nd onwards, a problem related to the ninth house, and the lunar eclipse chart shows a problem related to, this again the ninth house, but there also Venus and Sun is getting interchanged and getting connected to Rahu. Venus Moon Rahu is a combination of aeroplanes, vehicles, and those kind of thing as well. So, a typical, and the particular like ingress what we have seen in the month of November, Mars was debilitated. The indications are not very positive. So, this type of major activities may take place even in India. So, friends, I don't want to scare anyone, but it is what it is showing in the chart. It is what it is showing in the, it is the impression is coming out like that. Some major issues, especially in the northwest side, can come in the November December area, which relates to like the ninth house matter, like judiciary, religion, polarization, fanatism, ambassadors. Okay, ambassadors, and this long distance traveling, wherever it is required. So those kind of thing, and the solar eclipse chart also has an indication of vehicle accidents, and even aeroplane accidents and those kind of things. So an issue, tentatively this kind of issues can be possible, can come. So I don't want to scare anyone. It's just an impression which is coming in the chart. But obviously, during those 2 months, some major things are expected. And I hope the prediction goes wrong and nothing happens, and we stay very happily. Anyway, friends, let us see what happens. So this video will be there. Later, we will understand if it has happened or not. And I hope it doesn't happen like that. Thank you. I hope you have understood. If you have not understood, see, it's a mundane astrology. You need to see the anything about the rains and the earthquakes and the anything, war and anything. You need to see the Vikram Sambat thing, the Lord of the Year. You need to think. The second most important is the Jagat Kundali, where also the months and the house related the problems will come. And whichever house, the Chandragrahan or whichever country, the Chandragrahan and the Suryagrahan will happen. Those are the countries where the problem will be there. It can come there. So as far as the calculation, as we have seen, as for my calculation, the 3rd June came for the Chandragrahan effect, but 2nd June, this particular Balasore incident happened. Where it happened? You see Rohini Nakshatra. Even in the Kurma Chakra, Mars that time was transiting in Rohini Nakshatra. So you see, Rohini is here. Okay, Rohini is here. It is middle and those kind of part. But Rohini denotes the middle part. So just a moment. 3, 4, 5. Just a moment, friends. Actually, I'm trying to so it's very small. Hmm. So basically, central region. Okay. So this denotes Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, eastern part of Maharashtra. This also denotes Gurdaspur, Pathankot, Haryana, Hastinapur, Ayodhya, those kind of areas. And if you go deep, you will find that also the eastern part is also because that is also included in this part. Few of the eastern part, which also includes Orissa, and Balasore was in Orissa. So this particular book you can get it online. You should buy actually. I have the soft copy, and may any Brihad Samhita or anything you can buy, and you will get the details of the areas which are denoted by Kurma Chakra, especially as far as those names are very old names. You see the directions where the problem can happen. Whichever a house sat, whichever legs or the face or the tail Saturn will be there, the problem will come. Here it is coming northwest because it is Dhanishta, and then it will go to Shatabisha, which is basically north. So north to northwest, this problem is expected from north to northwest. This area, this problem will come. So friends, try to understand this video. whoever is interested in mundane astrology. And if you have some clarification, some doubts, please get in touch with me. I will be more than happy to explain the same to you. Thank you. My intention is to spread the knowledge of astrology, because astrology is a science. It's not a superstition. It is a divine science which gives an indication in advance and how we should prepare for that. So, any doubts, any questions, please get in touch with me. I hope I can, try to give you the proper answer. Okay. Prediction may happen, may not happen, but the indications are there. This is a message of the video, and how to see the problematic time from Chandragrahan. Whichever country it falls, the problems happen. You have to just remember that, and then match it with the Kurma Chakra. Wherever Saturn is there, that part of the place, the problem can happen. And the Jagat Kundali chart, that month, whichever house it is there, that related the problem will crop up. Also, take the Grahan chart and analyze. This is about the mundane astrology in a nutshell to find about the calamities. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.